Yo, it's your boy Ringo back again with a new video, Ringo Kicks. Today what we're gonna get here is a very interesting video. You all know that here on Ringo Kicks, I also speak on various issues in terms of commentary, but it's gonna only be regarding shoes, fashion, what's going on in the shoe game, and so forth. For any other type of content that you were formerly used to that I pretty much shared on this channel, you can go to www.minds, that's minds.com/Ringo TV Raw. That's for my raw, flaming hot content that you all love and enjoy. But what we're talking about today is pretty much sneaker news and so forth. Today's subject, what I'm going to talk about, is a shoe reseller. That's what he believes he is to be, I guess. Is a shoe reseller, a reseller named Fineline1721. There seems to be some controversy about this particular reseller, and I decided to make this video to share my thoughts about it. And I want to expose the truth. The truth of the matter is this, and I know a lot of people not gonna like this. A lot of the top YouTubers actually get their supply of shoes from time to time from Fineline1721. What they don't want you to know is that Fineline1721 also get unauthorized shoes. Now, there have been several videos that have been produced by various people on YouTube, and I've viewed mostly all of them regarding this controversy. Some are exposing Fineline for actually selling unauthorized shoes. And within the sneaker community, unauthorized shoes is considered fake, even though that's not necessarily true. Unauthorized simply mean that the person who's selling them don't have a contract with the brand to sell shoes to the general public. But what most of these shoe tubers don't want you to know is that most of their shoes actually come from dealers who sell unauthorized kicks. Now, what we're going to talk about today is this: Fineline exposed for selling fakes. Let's find out the truth. I watched that particular video, by the way. That's a title of a video, and I watched that full video, and I was trying to figure out why in the world do they have two shoe tubers in the background. Why? Because those two shoe tubers named Bull One, I don't know what the hell his name is, RC, whatever the case is. I made a video with him and the Tony D2 Wild, pretty much letting the public know that they are part of the 5 worst shoe tubers for 2017. Make sure you go check out that video. It's pretty hilarious. But it was kind of interesting to see those two in the video of all people, because I was like, oh boy, this is going to be good. Because once I saw their faces there, I knew this was bad news. I knew that they're here to save their dealer. They don't want their dealer to be exposed, because if their dealer is exposed, it would expose them. And this is the truth. And you can pretty much guarantee that here on Ringo Kicks, you are going to get the truth. Because I'm going to uncover some things that just ain't adding up. You know, if it's not making money, it's not making any sense. Little background. You know, I used to sell women's shoes back in the day. I used to sell shoes, sandals, high heels for women. I understand the process of buying shoes at wholesale. I understand having a business license. I understand distribution and how you have to set up a website and all these different things. I understand how that goes. You know, I did that for about 5 years, and eventually I wasn't really as into it or passionate as I should have been, and I basically just moved on to other things. But that's just to let you know that I understand a little bit about the shoe game. You understand? And pretty much all of these shoe tubers don't have a clue about the things that go on behind the scenes concerning wholesale. I know these things. So I'm not some cat who just here talking and don't know what he's talking about. You understand? Now, let's get down to business. Grab your popcorn and, settle in, because this is going to be interesting. In that video titled Fineline1721 Exposed for Selling Fakes, Let's Find Out the Truth, Fineline said something along the lines of that if it's not coming out of a retail store, he don't mess with it. In other words, he won't sell you anything if it didn't come straight from a retail store who is authorized to sell shoes such as Jordans, whatever other brands. He's not going to sell you anything if it's not coming from one of these chains. Now, according to Fineline, he want you to believe that he don't sell unauthorized shoes. I know he do. I know that based on my experience as a person who bought shoes from wholesalers. I know he's selling unauthorized shoes, but he want you to believe that everything he sell, shoe tubers, fans, and so forth, is pretty much authorized shoes from retail stores. Let's look at a few things. Fineline is telling us in this particular video that he goes to mom and pop stores and he's able to buy shoes now early, right? Before the release date. He's able to buy shoes before the release date and pretty much gather multiple pairs of shoes, mind you, by paying the people in the store, the owner or whoever, manager, whatever, more than the retail price so that he can get the shoes early. Now, if you know anything about Nike, the Jordan brand, and their policies regarding these issues, these stores are not authorized to be doing any sort of selling of shoes early. You understand? They're not supposed to be doing that. And to be quite frank, mom and pop stores, they're not authorized dealers like your Champs, your Foot Lockers, and so forth. Those are authorized dealers. All of these mom and pop stores, if he's getting shoes from them, they're most likely getting their shoes from unauthorized dealers, and wholesalers. It's just that simple. Either way, he's buying UA shoes, but he don't want to admit it. Now, I'm going to expose the fact that he is. I'm going to do it with basic math. Because, like I said, if it ain't making dollars, it's not making sense. It's not. As a person who once bought shoes at wholesale prices, I was able to pretty much sell my shoes for 4 to 5 times the value that I paid for it. So if I paid $10 for a shoe, I would sell it for around $50, $40 to $50. You understand? And I would get back what I spent, and then I would get a profit. And it was a decent profit when you sell a particular shoe. So when I look at Fineline and I examine the things he's saying, it's not making sense. Remember, if it's not making dollars, it's not making sense. Now let's do the math. Let's go to Fineline's website, because I always believe in doing my research. On Fineline's website right now, as I record this video, he have the Air Jordan Retro 3 OG Cement, right? He have these shoes selling for $320. $320. But what's interesting is that he have a full size run. Ain't that interesting? He have a full size run. Very, very, very interesting. Now, the shoe release for this, right, is supposed to be February 17th, 2018. That's the launch date for this particular shoe. February 17th, 2008. But according to Fineline, shipping starts January 29th. Ain't that interesting? So you mean to tell me, Fineline, that you bought a full run of all those sizes now and they're ready to ship? You have a full run of Air Jordan Retro 3 OG cements now from the mom and pop stores. You mean to tell me you just walked into a mom and pop store and they got all these shoes on deck ready, and you already done pretty much made your business deal with them to secure all those pairs, and people can pretty much order now and they're able to get these shoes now. They're able to get these shoes without no issues. That's BS. I'm not buying it. Because if you're telling me that a mom and pop store already have the OG shoes already, right now, they got them on deck and you already made a deal with them to get a full run, then you're basically telling me that you bought all these shoes out of a mom and pop store, which means you had to spend at least, let's just say you bought one size of each shoe. That's 12 pairs. That's about $2,400 at $200 a pop. Listen, you're not fooling me. You're not fooling me, because in order for a store or mom and pop store to sell you all these shoes, right, through the back door, right, you would have to be paying them more than retail. They're not gonna risk selling you a shoe at retail price when they can make that very same money on release day. So if they're gonna sell you these things early, you're gonna have to pay an early price. So I'm doing the math because, I may not be the best at math, but I know how to add and subtract. You understand? For you to be selling these particular Jordans for $320, right? Let's do the math, because you got $320, right? We know the shoes will retail for $200. That means that, let's say for example, the mom and pop store sold you the shoes at retail for $200, no tax, flat, straight, right? Okay. We know they're not going to sell it to you tax free. They're going to tax you. Not only that, you're going to have to pay a little fee extra, more than retail. But let's just say at $200, they sold you the shoes, right? If you were to sell it at $320, you would make $120 profit. So you mean to tell me you would waste your time, right? You literally waste your time buying a shoe for $200 to only make $120 profit off of a $200 shoe? I find that to be bad business. I would not waste my time going to a store to buy a shoe for $200 if all I'm going to make back is $120. I'm just not going to do that. Understand? Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen who are viewing this video. I'm showing you simple calculations. I'm being very logical because I want you to see that Fineline1721 is not telling the truth regarding how he's actually getting these shoes. It would be good for the brother to just come out and just say, look, all right, you got me. I actually buy my shoes from wholesalers, and yes, they are unauthorized. It is what it is. It doesn't mean the shoes are fake. Nobody's saying that he's selling fakes. So before anyone try to accuse me that I'm saying Fineline is selling fakes, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm establishing is the fact that Fineline is actually selling unauthorized shoes. It doesn't mean they're fake. They're legit. But the man needs to be honest about his business practices rather than trying to make you think that he's selling authorized retail shoes to the public. Now, we looked at the shoe at the price of $200, right? We just learned that if he was selling it at $320, he would be making $120 profit. That's not really much of a profit after going through all that footwork to buy a shoe from a store at $200 a pop. Now, let's do the real math and find out what he's really making. Because like I said, if it ain't making dollars, it's not making sense. Now, if this brother is truthful in terms of going to a mom and pop store and he's buying these shoes at $200, plus he's paying these people more over retail. So let's just say he went to the mom and pop store, right? And for whatever reason, since he's going to buy a certain amount, they want to charge him, let's say, instead of $200, give me $250 for those shoes, right? Now, let's do the math. If he's charging $320, right? Just take away that $250 and look at what's left. You mean to tell me, Fineline, that you would walk into a retail store, right? Mom and pop store, to get shoes early. You would pay them $250 for a shoe that retail at $200, but you give them $250 because you claim you're flipping it or reselling it because you want to claim that you're a reseller rather than letting people know the truth. You mean to tell me you're only taking home a $70 profit? Bruh, you gotta come correct. You gotta come correct. I don't know if anybody pretty much put this type of information out there, but I like to do the math. I like to do the math because, like I said, if it's not making dollars, it's not making sense. And for you to be selling a shoe at $320 on your site only to make $70 back in profit, I find that to be bad business. I would just close the shop because it's not really worth it. It's not worth going back and forth to mom and pop shops just so I can make $70 a pop. You are getting these shoes from wholesale companies, but you're not telling the people that because it would mess up your bottom line, because you have a lot at stake. You have a lot of shoe tubers who have invested into you, who believe in you, who believe that you're selling them authentic shoes from a so-called authorized dealer. That's what you want them to believe. But the truth is you're selling unauthorized shoes. I'm not saying the shoes are fake. I'm just here to let you know that I know what you're doing and others know what you're doing. Because to sell a shoe at $320 mean you have to be making a profit. You're not going to sell a shoe at $320 if you're not taking home a substantial amount of money. You know good and well that if you're getting these shoes at wholesale prices, you're going to be paying at least for these particular Jordans, you're probably going to be paying at least probably $15 to $20 for a pair. You understand? Between $15 to probably $25 a pair for one at wholesale price. You understand? That's what you will be paying. For these particular shoes right here, them joints, you will be paying somewhere around, I would even go as low to say $10. You know what I mean? You would be going as low as probably $10 to $25 a pop for one. So when you buy them in a run of shoes, you get from size 8 or 7.5 all the way to 13 or 14, somewhere around there, and you get a certain number of 7.5s, a certain number of 8s, 9s, 9.5, and so forth. The higher the size go up to, the less amount of shoes you get in the run. I know about this. So in order for you to sell these shoes for $320, you had to flip this at least 4 times. You had to. That's the only way you'll be able to make that price point. Because if you're not making no dollars, it don't make no sense. So you're not fooling me. I know the game. I understand a little bit of the business. See, I'm not trying to puff myself up as a know-it-all. I know a little bit. I sold shoes for 5 years. You know what I mean? I did the whole wholesale things, buying shoes, because I realized there was a good market to sell women's shoes back then. And I was doing very well, you understand? But I just wasn't really in it the way I needed to be. If I get back into that now, I'm going to make a killing. Because I know exactly what to do now. I know what kind of shoes to buy. I know what the demand is at. I know what women want. You understand? So I know what to do now. But what I'm trying to do in this video is establish the facts. The truth of the matter is, you need to come clean. Just come clean, bro. Let the people know the truth. You're selling Air Jordan 3s, OGs. So you're telling me that these particular shoes, which is OGs, I don't know if these shoes will be limited or not, but you're telling me that you got these already from a mom and pop store? Because that's what he was saying in that video. I suggest y'all go watch that video. Because in that video, you know, clearly he brung Tony D. Too Wild and Bull on that particular show, not really to be some sort of moderator or something, but sort of like someone who's helping him to clear his name. That's pretty much it, to pretty much put confidence back in the people that, don't worry guys, it's all good. Fineline is official. Listen, man, I just did the math for you. If you can't see what I just showed you, something wrong with you. Something is definitely wrong with you, and you're just in denial. You don't want to pretty much understand this. Here's another thing that I want to show you. The Air Jordan Retro 1 OG High, the bread toe, that's on his site as well, right? And he's selling those shoes, mind you, for $350. See, $350. That is what he's selling those shoes for. Now, those shoes retail for around $160. But if you notice, he's selling those pretty much more than he's selling the Jordan 3 OGs. He's selling those more. See? Why? Because he know it's the bread colorway. He know you're going to want those. But the truth of the matter is, he got those at wholesale price. See? He got those from a wholesaler. So he's able to sell it at $350. He's not fooling me, because like I said, you have to be able to make a profit. Nobody's going to do all this work to make $70. Nobody, listen, you're not going to no mom and pop store to get all these shoes, man. You're not fooling me. I don't want to hear that. You may be able to deceive these other cats on YouTube. You may be able to deceive the fans, the viewers. You may be able to deceive them. They may believe in you and think that you actually are walking around to mom and pop stores, getting deals and buying shoes early. I know that's BS. I know that. You know that as well. So come clean. Let the public know the truth that you are in fact selling unauthorized shoes. It doesn't mean that you're selling fakes. Nobody's accusing you of selling fakes. I'll be on the record to say that you're not selling fakes, but you're selling unauthorized shoes. And for anyone who's viewing, let me break it down for you so you can understand it in layman's terms. Unauthorized shoes, authorized shoes, they're all being manufactured in the very same factory. It's the same shoe. You understand? And to be quite frank, sometimes you can get a shoe that is unauthorized and it looks better than the authorized. That's true. See? So this is not about him selling fakes, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to establish the truth that he's selling unauthorized shoes. And the shoe tubers who are being supplied by Fineline1721 know this. Or they're ignorant of it and they're just pretty much, caught up in the mix, so to speak, and their reputations is at hand. Now think about it. If you're a shoe tuber and you got 200,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers, all your subscribers believe in you. All your subscribers believe that everything you show is 100% authentic. So in their eyes, they look at you as a sneaker, a sneaker god, for lack of better words. One who know the difference between real and fake. When the truth is, unauthorized and authorized is pretty much the same thing. There's nothing really different about the shoe. It's the same materials, the same factory, the same people that manufacture the very same shoe. The only difference between authorized and unauthorized is that one have the authorization and the contract agreement to actually sell the shoes to the public. And they have certain rules they have to follow, certain guidelines of how to deliver the shoe to the public. Whereas unauthorized dealers have no contract with Jordan brand, Nike, Adidas, and so forth to sell any shoes to the public. You understand? Therefore, these unauthorized dealers are able to make the shoes available in greater quantity numbers. Why? Because they're getting the shoes from wholesalers. They can have a greater amount of business. They can make a substantial amount of money because there is no limit to the amount of shoes they can get because they're getting them from wholesalers. You understand? So if I want to buy an entire run of Jordan 1 bread toe, then I can buy that at wholesale price. And then when I sell them, I can go right back to that wholesaler and get me another batch. But now a so-called authorized retailer, he can't go and just go to a wholesaler and do that. He's under a contract with the brand, and the brand is the one who pretty much get them the supply they need. This is why when you go to certain stores, they'll have a release for a shoe, and once those shoes sell out, that's it. The shoes are gone. You know what I mean? You have to wait for the next release. The store ain't getting no reshipments unless they did a restock of those shoes. And normally that happens once in a while if the brand see fit that the shoes did very well and that shoe retailer is moving a lot of product. You understand? So when we look at this scenario here and we look at this issue with Fineline1721, it's very apparent and clear that he does in fact sell unauthorized shoes. There is no way that Fineline can have a full run of these shoes, because when you go to his site, go click on the Air Jordan 1 OG bread. You will see all the sizes there. You click on all of the shoes, every shoe that he have there, he have the full size run. You mean to tell me he went into mom and pop stores and got full runs of all these shoes? Not at all. He didn't do that. And if you also notice, he only have the shoes, right, that people would more likely buy. This is why he's able to get these shoes. He's getting them at wholesale prices, and he's selling them at these pretty much these prices that he's selling for. Like for example, the Gatorade ones, he's selling them for $230. Now he's selling them at that price, but you could literally go to the store and you could buy it at retail right now. But he's selling it at that price because not because he got them at a mom and pop store early. No, it's because he wanted you to buy them early. He is more or less catering to the guy who want the shoes early. This is why when you see a lot of these shoe tubers, they always got an early release, an early unboxing, an early look. These are the guys they're getting it from. They're getting it from someone like Fineline or someone else that's doing the very same thing. I don't personally like early release videos because it's too much, it's a waste of time, and people are literally just trying to get a view count. That's what they're trying to do, and it's just not my thing. I prefer if you made a video, do it on release day or after the release day. That way it looks more official. But if you're doing these videos early, a week early, a month early, 6 months early, you got your shoes from a wholesaler or some site that is unauthorized, pretty much. Because if you're telling me that you went to a mom and pop store and he got all these shoes that are on his site, all of them he got early before the release date, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not believing that. I'm not listening to that. I know it's a joke. You understand? And you know what's interesting? He still have these Jordan 1s on his site selling at $230, even though you could go and buy the very same shoe in certain stores for the retail price. He can't drop them. He could if he want, but the reason why he had them at $230 is for the person who want them early. The person who want them early, and normally that would be your YouTubers. Your YouTubers would more likely want to buy them early, or people who just want to rock the kicks fast. So pretty much that's all I wanted to say. This is pretty much my video to expose the truth that Fineline1721 is in fact selling unauthorized Jordans, Nikes, and so forth, but he's just not coming clean with the fact that he's getting them wholesale. He's just not doing it. He don't want to, mess up his reputation, which I don't think that it would mess up your reputation. I think that if you're just honest with the people and let them decide what they want to do, they'll really work with you. But his bottom line is that he have a lot of invested stake in the YouTube community in terms of supplying shoe tubers. And if it turns out that Fineline is in fact selling unauthorized shoes, it will affect a lot of shoe tubers, because a lot of shoe tubers like Mike Rich, like Tony D 2 Wild, like Bull R10C, whatever. All of these guys buy their shoes from Fineline. And what they may not know is that Fineline does in fact get shoes from wholesalers. That's the only way. There's no other way. He is not going to mom and pop stores buying entire runs of shoes and getting them at more than retail price under the table deals, but yet he's only pocketing $70 or a few change. No. If it's not making no profit, it's not making no sense, man. How much times I got to do the math for you? So with that said, leave your comments, leave your feedback. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Let me know if you think I'm right. It is what it is. So make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.